my gosh, I can't believe my eyes. Hold it. This is February 2nd. No way. This is out my kitchen window. Do you know that I don't see them until usually around March 15th? Oh my goodness. I'll show you in a minute now what I have to do.
Hear ye, hear ye! Now on this February 2nd, Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers, prognosticator of all prognosticators, was awakened from his wintry nap at dawn on Gobbler's Knob. But what this weather did not provide is a shadow or reason to hide. Glad tidings on this Groundhog Day! An early spring is on the way!
Hold it. I have something to say. We didn't need the groundhog today.
They didn't need the groundhog, as they would say. Did he see his shadow today? All you need is an Oriole, in fact, because they know more because they're back. And they're back 6 weeks early.
So can you believe this morning I get up and I hear that the groundhog didn't see his shadow, and now we're having spring early. But guess what? I knew that. Well, I would have known it because as I walked into the kitchen after hearing that broadcast, lo and behold, the first Oriole came looking at me as I was in my kitchen window, landed on top of those covers I make for my hummingbird feeders, greeted me with a little hello. I grabbed my camera and I thought he was going to fly off, but nope, it was a regular. He hopped down onto the feeder and started to drink. Let me show you the full video on how that went this morning as I've got it captured, not only on my phone, but on some of my security cameras I've got around here. And we'll get into the details on how exciting it is going to be having them back, but then maybe not so exciting for some of the hummingbirds. Do you know what this is? We have the first bullocks. And not only is it early, it is over a month early. They usually show up March. This is February 2nd. This is way early, and I'm going to say the groundhog was right. He said spring is early this year. So I'm going to have to say for Southern California, spring is here. I'm so excited. I literally just walked out there and refilled because we had rain all night. And I turn around, come into my kitchen. This is where I am right now. And look at that. A sight to see on a winter morning after pouring rain, but we only got down to about 47 degrees last night. And I'm going to have to say, the spring is here. So for you guys under snow, I think we all have some hope. I'm just standing here holding my phone. I don't even move because if he sees me, I don't know if he's a regular. If he's a regular from last year, which obviously he must be, he knows exactly what feeder to go to right now, then he won't mind me standing out there. If it's a young one from last year that has not been here out my kitchen window, oh, this is going to be holy terror for the hummingbirds though. Oh my goodness, he's gone. Let's see if he went anywhere. Okay, well, guess what I have to do today? I have to crack out the pizza tray and find a spot out there for them. Now we are getting more rain, but this is amazing. They breed here, they have their babies here, along with the hooded. So I haven't seen a hooded, but this is just as a morning report on February 2nd. I'm going to say close to 6 weeks early. And what did the groundhog say this morning? I heard it on the news. Came out and said, we are having spring early. Do I believe in all that? I don't know. I laughed about it this morning, but maybe I should stop laughing. So you just saw my excitement this morning as I went into the kitchen and found them out the window. Now I'm going to put out all the feeders, and they have special ones that they feed from. They love my peanut butter cups. All of them come to that, and they know them because I've had them for years out the window. If you want to know how to make them, go check out the videos because the hummingbirds love them and so do the Orioles. They love to come and feed with the hummingbirds. I'm going to try to see if I can move them kind of off the deck a little bit. I don't care that much for the Orioles coming into the window because that I know the hummingbirds don't like, but I can't really stop them. So I try to make designated areas that the Orioles like to feed, but even though they both share both places. I have found that this pizza set I made works really good. They'll all use them, even some of the little house finches come in sometimes to get a drink, but the hummingbirds will feed on it, but the Orioles really like that. So that kind of keeps them from going to too many feeders sometimes. It is just such a joy to have them. I enjoy having both of them in the windows, and you know, if the hummingbirds have to wait in the trees a little bit to come in, that's okay because the window's big enough to handle that many Orioles, I guess you can say. We have quite a few, but not as many as hummingbirds. And you'll see the different feeders I make. I make the ice cream container ones, but then I also make them out of the lids, where it's not a big ice cream container, it's just a little flat lid. I've got all kinds of feeders I make. I kind of do it to give them a challenge. So when they come in to feed, they have to kind of look around and see what she's put out next, because they do watch me. And I'll bring something out there, and sometimes I'm just working on my deck and I'll move a plant, and they will come dive bomb and look to see, is there something there for me to feed on it? But they know their pizza tray, it's in a white bowl, and it's a kid's play set. It's a children's play pizza. And then they know that one, and then they know empty bowls, just like nothing in there but just a little bit of the nectar. They drink the same nectar that the hummingbirds drink. Now let me tell you one thing. Please, whatever you do, do not put out any fruit jelly for the Orioles if you're feeding hummingbirds as well. And we'll get into that in a minute. Because they're really curious, the Orioles, and they will or maybe feed on it. But the point is, if the hummingbirds get into it, number one, they can't digest it. They can only digest sucrose. So keep that in mind, and that is white table sugar. It's the only thing the hummingbirds can actually digest. If you remember that, you'll be good. No raw sugar, no honey, no molasses, nothing like that. If you put out jelly and they get it on their feathers, that's the end of them. They have no way of pruning their feathers like other birds do, and if they can't get it washed off quick enough, they'll get weighed down by dirt and soil, and it will stick to them, and eventually you sometimes find hummingbirds laying on the ground. They got into jelly. So no jelly, they don't need it. The Orioles will go collect fruit from around the yard. They will collect insects, pollen, nectar. Let them come to your window if you want them to drink the nectar you're making, which I make is a 1/4 cup of white granulated sugar and 1 cup of water. That's all you need, and everybody will be happy. The only thing you can do to keep everybody happy is see if you can, like I am, designate areas for the Orioles to feed. And this way, sometimes they'll gravitate towards that so the hummingbirds can feed where they want to feed and everybody's happy. Does it always work? No, because they're going to eat where they want to eat. And I think this is such a joy that the Orioles are back because it's spring. And now I think I'm going to think about maybe gardening a little early, because the last time that Groundhog said it was early, it was 2020. And I remember I planted early back then. So that was a fun thing to hear today, and I think we all have something to look forward to, because spring's going to be here early. But I'm going by my feathered friends, and if they showed up 6 weeks early for the first time that I can remember, well, I think spring is just around the corner. With that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. What a great day.